think it's essential to be on social media, Facebook, Twitter. MySpace is not as important now, but still, for me, as a resource, as a place that's really easy for me to go and hear 2 or 3 songs, I still go there a lot. It's especially because the record industry has changed so much. It's probably more important than having a label at this point is having a place where people can have access to your music. But in most cases, CD sales don't mean anything anymore. But if I see somebody and they've got 15,000 Twitter followers, or I see that they've had this many hits on MySpace and this many people watch their video on YouTube, it's another way of me of saying, all right, this is a band that has a fan base that, although I might not know them yet, they have people who are interested in what they're doing and they know how to develop a fan base. And so I think being able to do that and do that long distance through the social media is really key. You start, I think, the same way you get shows back here in Brazil. First, practice, be good, make good music. Everything else is secondary if the music's not good. And so I would say for bands that are just starting out, don't try to go too soon either. Or if you go soon, go with the same expectations that you had when you're starting out here. You might play to a room with 5 people there, but if you do a good job and those 5 people get excited, then the next time you come, maybe there are 25 people there. Then the next time, maybe there are 50 people. And you have to expect it to grow, and it takes a while, and it needs to grow organically. Just because you're from Brazil is not going to be enough. It might attract some people who are curious, but you need to be patient. I think it's much easier now in certain ways because of the internet. People can discover music through YouTube and through Facebook and through MySpace. If you've got personal connections in a local city, use those connections. If you've got a friend who went to the university in a small town, it might not be New York or LA or Chicago or Washington, D.C., but if you've got a friend who went to the university in New Orleans, maybe that's where you should go first. Go where you've got a connection and then build out from there. You need to build a story bit by bit by bit. The other thing that's, it sounds really dumb, but I find it's important, photographs. Having really good photographs means a lot when you're trying to get press coverage, especially for print media, for the magazines and the weekly newspapers. If they're deciding what band to cover, they might choose who to write a blurb about and write some editorial coverage based on the music. But then the bands who have really interesting photos, great colors, great kind of a great feel, a great energy, not a formal portrait, but something that really captures the spirit of the band. Often that can be separate from the music. The photo editor is just looking at the quality of the image, and so you can get a lot more attention just by having really good photos to go with your press kit. Having songs in English sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It depends on the style of music as well. I think in certain kinds of music, people don't care about the lyrics. I think the baile funk, most Americans, they're responding to the beat. They're responding because it's great dance music, and they have no idea what people are talking about, and it's probably a good thing because if the band is a band that's centered around a lyricist and the poetry, the lyrics are important, then maybe you need to sing in English, or maybe you have translations available on the website or translations in the CD package if you're bringing a CD, but you don't necessarily need to sing in English. I think sometimes when people sing in languages that aren't their first language, it comes out awkward and doesn't always work. So I think the idea is not trying to necessarily compete with bands who are singing in English, because it's going to be very hard to win that match. So it's bring something different, bring something that's really unique and special to yourself.